Good morning. Today is Wednesday. It is April 10th, I believe it's 10th, 2024, Wednesday, and we are continuing with Tanya. And yesterday, we are now in the chapter 37, and yesterday we touched on a very interesting, controversial concept, which left to the question. I still have a question in my mind. That is, we're now talking about Tanya for 36 chapters or so discussed the methods, how the person has to handle personal challenges, personal problems. It gives practical advices. And now, having done that, kind of put to bed the immediate needs of the questions of needs a person may have on spiritual and physical level. The Tanya now is looking at from a philosophical standpoint, what is this all about? It looks in this world, the upper world, our presence in this world, and our presence in the world to come. Whether you believe or not believe in God, or to which extent you believe or not believe in God, that's not even the question. We're taking a position basically of a Kabbalistic approach on which Tanya is based pretty much, that well, if some disagree with this concept, that's fine. But if you agree, or if you are just curious to know what this concept, then let's look at the following. So we discussed, remember, we made in a previous couple of lessons, we made these charts. This is two options: the present world and the world to come, the paradise, Gan Eden. And basically, where the soul is happier, in this world and the world to come. And the traditional classical rabbinical thinking is, well, we explain a lot of issues and problems people have, all the challenges in preparation for the world to come. In the world to come, the soul is just basking in the sunlight of God, in a God's presence, uninhibited by the body, completely free, happy, paradise in a little sense of the word. And here we have challenges and problems, and we have to look at it stoically. We look at it understandingly. But it's hard to understand for many people, to accept when there's big issues. So this is how Tanya looks at it. In this world, we have in our body two souls. We have the divine soul and the animal soul that surrounds it. Makes it more difficult for the divine soul to get out and express itself. The job of the divine soul is to connect on a spiritual level for the goodness of God, bring the light. God created the universe and separated our world with many levels as filters, many worlds, so to speak, as Tanya calls it, as Kabbalah calls it, as filters from an infinite light, from the light of Hashem, infinity, which we can fathom, through the methods of 10 Sfirot, figuratively speaking, Chokhmah, Bina, Dat, and so forth. In order for us to be able to see God, without the glasses, spiritual glasses, the filters of Sfirot, we cannot see the light. So we have this, God gave us this filter so we can understand God a little bit indirectly. But when the soul goes to the world to come in the next life, so to speak, then the glasses are off and soul is basking in the light. So traditionally, many times we think, well, the soul in us, divine soul, is like a light of the candle. It tries to separate from a candle, to fly away, to unburden itself from the troubles of this world. And today, the job of divine soul is to connect with upper world, to bring this light down to this world. And the method of doing this is with studying the Torah and doing mitzvot. Studying the Torah is a mechanism of the divine soul to bring the holiness. And how does that holiness happen? It's on the intuitive level, on the level of pre-thought, pre-speech, pre-action, just the feeling, so to speak. And then mitzvot, good deeds, are bringing this light down here in this world by action. So God's intention, the whole purpose of our existence, is to illuminate the lower world, to bring the wholeness down. And Tanya shows that in this world it's possible. So Tanya goes through three scenarios. The first scenario, if the person lives and doesn't think much about Torah and mitzvot, but still have the concept of God, some affiliation, some connection to God. The person prays, he goes to a synagogue or goes to the church or mosque or whatever institution they might go, and they sit in the pew, sometimes, let's say, by himself, or of course with the community, it's better, and prays to God and says, God, help me, I have such and such problem, I want to get closer to you. And then he talks to his friends and family and says, I don't know, I can't get this connection close enough. Well, that's understandable. Tanya explains that don't bang your head against the wall. It's wonderful that you pray. It's wonderful you experience this ecstatic connection to God, but you cannot get one with God. Tanya teaches about non-duality of God, that we are God. But in order for us to experience that, we have to use this mechanism of Torah studies and mitzvah. If we just sit and pray and try to get closer, God says to Moses, you can only see my back. You cannot see, the man cannot see my face and live. So, if we simply pray and just trying to get very, very close to God, we can get close, but not, it's like we can close to the sun, but not right into the sun, because we'll burn there. In the world to come, the soul also basking in the light of God, without glasses, uninhibited, but it still doesn't fully understand God. So the distance from us, from our souls, from here to God is infinite, but the distance of the soul in paradise to God is also infinite. It is much closer, so to speak, because it's seeing God that we didn't see before. Soul is just enjoying it, but it's not one with it. But on this world, the soul actually can become one. So analogy would say, yesterday we said, it's like, what the question was said, why would a soul resist? Why would soul feel that it's in exile coming to this world? Oh, why are you sending me to this world? It was so nice. Well, the soul actually, the answer to that is understanding that it will be a mission, a journey. And yes, I mean, you're packing your bag and you're going to the Mars to live there. It's very, very difficult, a challenge, but a good astronaut is motivated. This is exploring a new world. That's my mission. The soul knows it will be tough. And God says, be careful, watch out. Your job is to help elevate the body's feelings and connections to me in the lowest world, to complete the creation. This is your job, to help the body to unite with me and have this experience. So that's a challenge, that's the reason that the soul actually understands. So it's not coming to this world unwillingly. It's coming here with knowing it will be tough. I'm changing my 15-bedroom castle, kingly palaces, into a little shack in the jungle. But that's my mission. I love it. I want to do it. And when the journey is completed, and when the soul comes back, then the soul has completed its mission. And now when soul is sitting and basking in the light of God, the soul is no longer eager to become one with God. It had become one with God during her training, his soul training in this world. It did experience the present unity with God. So on subconscious level, and when it sits there and observes God, the soul is now completely at rest. I have started here. God sent me down to this world, and I have completed my journey, and I returned, came back. And now, by doing this journey, I actually got an award. I got rewarded by actually having been one with God during this journey, which I would have done it if I never went to this world. That's the reward that we get. That's the reward we get. The reward in this world we get by actually seeing that even the soul in the world to come couldn't see if it didn't make the journey through this world. Understand it? It's such a breathtaking breakthrough concept. Now, as a sub-note, we talk oftentimes about how many souls were in Sinai. 600,000 souls. Well, that's a little question that we still have to answer. The 600,000, that's where a count of men of the age of 20 and up. But on Sinai, the total number of Jews left Egypt. There were roughly 10 million Jews in Egypt. 7 perished during the plagues. They didn't want to leave Egypt. And 3 were in Sinai. So 600,000 men, 20 and up. And then the rest of it men under 20, and men and women and children. Total 3 million. What happened to those souls? So you would say, well, 3 million souls, not 600,000 souls. And also, all souls come from Adam. So the mechanism of soul generation is like this. Hashem sent the soul to this world. That was Adam. From Adam, the soul splintered into the sparks. It's like a bonfire. That sparks are flying everywhere. So from that fire, many sparks came out, 600,000 of them. And those sparks, in turn, also generate into them more sparks. And all we today there's 15 million Jews, roughly, in the world. We all have sparks of those 600,000 initial. So God presented 600,000. Now, how he kept it? He kept it in the yesod, or Kabbalists would say, trying to rationalize, quote unquote, like a mechanism, how the souls operated. They kept it in yesod, and they were sent to the world. How were they sent to the world? Well, they sent to the world initially through Adam, and then 600,000 of them became witnessing Hashem, God, but they also multiplied a little, became sparks. Now, through 1 million, they were all coming from 600,000. They became roughly 3 million. That's what reconciled 600 and 3 million. So 600,000, its initial idea, so God sends the souls to, they all came to the world and they multiplied, spread, subdivided into many sparks. So you can say during the existence of the world for 6,000 years, or whatever number of billion years, if you will, there was a lot of, if you calculate how many people, how many Jews lived, it was not 15 million, maybe, 100 million. I mean, so how do you reconcile 15 and a million? Well, the way you reconcile it, after the soul comes into this world and inherits the body, gets the body, that's the soul's mission. That soul can be either recycled soul, it already like you, might have been reincarnation of your grandfather, or maybe Moses, or maybe Aaron, or maybe Einstein, who knows? So you're a reincarnation of that soul. So no longer new souls are being generated. They've been all sent, and now they're coming back after death to return to your great-great-great-grandson or whatever. So if you have the subconscious feelings, déjà vu, maybe that's the flares of the past life, of soul in a past life. And the troubles a person is experiencing sometimes is to compensate for misdeeds that your predecessor, the owner of your soul, had in the past. That's one recycling. Kabbalah says, I believe the soul can only go like 3 times. And then once it completes its missions, it goes to the box of souls. And then they accumulate in there. And then, of course, we don't know whether they merge, they're just sitting and observe God, or do they sitting in lobby, just happy drinking tea and enjoying their breakfast and waiting until Messianic times. And in Messianic times, it doesn't have to be imagined as like a person comes in, although traditionally that's how I believe. It could be an idea, the concept, redemption, some reconciliation of the whole entire world as a brotherhood of man, the idealistic times, utopian times, Messianic times. So don't limit it to one particular concept and explain whether a temple will come down from the sky, whether we'll build a temple, whether we build a temple and then Mashiach comes, or Mashiach comes and builds a temple, or there's one Mashiach, then another Mashiach. All the details nobody really knows, but fundamentally there is a hope. Call a hope a Mashiach. Mashiach is a hope, perhaps too. And with those, when that plan of God ultimately materialized, when the cycle is complete, when the creation of the world and creation of the lower worlds has exhausted itself, that we completed the cycles, the souls came and recycled enough times, and they all came back, then the plan, divine plan, has been complete. That creates the states that, of course, we can't even speculate about, but it's a good state. Whether it's a life on this earth, in peace and harmony, a whole humanity, whether it's a world back into the idealistic, Kabbalistic world of the soul of Adam, being before he was exiled from Gan Eden, we're all now in Gan Eden, basking in the light of God, walking around the gardens of beautiful fruits and trees and streams and sunlight and beautiful blue skies, whatever figuratively speaking that state is a mental state or physical state. That's a philosophical approach. On that, I think, on thinking about it, all humanity can agree. Jews and non-Jews, Aristotle, Plato, Hegel, all philosophers, Spinoza, today's tzaddikim, today's regular people, farmers, drivers, doctors, anybody, Jews and non-Jews, can say we all feel something that's missing in this world, something that needs to be improved, and that state is what we're coming to. And our mission and the soul sent to us, through whatever mechanism you look at it, is to help God accomplish that. That reconciles the fact that why we cannot reach God today to become unity with Him, at least in our mind. We don't think we're in unity, although we are. And the fact that in the world to come, the soul is still not one. The spark doesn't come back into the fire, becomes part of it. It still remains a spark. But now its unity is realization that that is the source from which I came. I'm still part of this fire even right now, even though physically I'm not merged with a huge flame. I am the flame. I'm part of the flame. I'm the fingers of this flame. I'm the hands of this flame. I'm the eyes, ears, and expressions of the feelings of this flame. That perhaps reconciles that dynamics. And when you think about it, it's very peaceful and soothing. That's why whenever troubles we have in this world, that's how we started our lessons, our discussions on Tanya and Kabbalah. All these charts that we made, just a mechanical, dynamical attempts to explain conceptually how we feel about life, about the world, becomes easier to handle. If you have a trouble with the family, a trouble with the friends, trouble with your parents, trouble with the children, when you think about it in the way that loneliness, that loneliness that you might feel, abandoned, not loved, not appreciated, not whatever, that ultimately is a sign of the test of the workings of the universe, of the spiritual struggle in your soul, divine soul and animal soul, and connecting to. So when we pray and when we do mitzvot and study Torah and put our efforts into good things and the meaningful things in life, then there is a hope, even in this world, to all of a sudden the phone rings and your kids call and say, "Dad, Mom, I'm sorry, for the last 10 years we neglected you. It just dawned on us that we really been neglected. Can you forgive us?" Something like that happened in this world. So all these elevated high concepts all of a sudden can be reconciled and put into good things even now, before the soul goes to the upper world. So understanding this process, living this process, is what brings us redemption, in whichever way you imagine this redemption. Have a great day. We'll talk tomorrow. Today is Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. Talk soon. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helps. That's most important. Deeds, action are more important than thinking and even thought, words. Action. Do something to yourself, to your dad, to your son, to your daughter, to your mother, to your friend that you have been neglecting for a long time. Let it penetrate into your inner soul. Let you connect with God. Let you connect with the goodness. That's your mission. Think about what your mission is, and perhaps that's it. Talk tomorrow. Have a great day.